And the first step in removing the supercharger pulley, you're going to need to remove the belt first. And in order to do that, you're going to need to grab a 17mm socket and put it on this tension bolt and release the tension on the belt and just slip it right off. And the first task is going to be breaking loose this bolt right here. And as you can see, when I'm trying to turn the bolt, the whole pulley and clutch assembly moves along with the bolt. And in order to stop that from happening, I'm going to use these clamps on the actual clutch assembly itself to hold the clutch and stop that from moving so I can turn the bolt. You can see here where I position the clamp to hit on this bar when I'm turning the bolt to stop the clutch from moving, so just the bolt spins and it's able to break free. And with this bolt having Loctite applied to it from the factory, we decided to heat it up with the torch to loosen up the Loctite, and then we put the ratchet on there and banged it with a rubber mallet a couple times, and it broke right loose.
Yeah, you told me to come out here. You can taking this off. It's a washer on here. Boom.
Okay, bow.
That's the washer.
Bing, bing.
There it is. There it is.
What else it got?
And
That smell like oil.
it has that
Jelly. Oh, we got a snap ring.
like Loctite on there.
Should have brought my snap ring pliers.
Oh, yeah. Don't lose your bolt. And then
What you want me to do?
you good. You good. Your pulley should just come right off.
That's crazy. Hold on, let me get down there just in case. Yeah, let's change.
There it is.
Take the phone. Okay.
Bam.
Let me see.
That's the pulley.
Pulley. Boom. Peekaboo.
Now we trying to get to this bearing in here, because I believe this is the culprit to my problems. I hope this is, because if not, I got another problem. Y'all heard the noise. And as you see, there is 3 little shims right here.
Okay.
We ain't gonna mess with those today because that
They
mess
good.
up your gap.
They good where they at.
Yeah, they good with where they at. So now we're gonna work on getting this bearing out of here. Got the camera?
2. Oh. Hey, before, hold on, what you want to do? Let me see. Alright. Alright, what you trying to do? I'll pick up one side and you just get that thing under, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Oh.
These ones. Alright, this one about the best corporate.
Oh, almost. You know what? Okay, so right here, let me pause the video and fill you in. I had to make myself a bearing knocking tool. I went to Home Depot and got this long screw, a couple nuts, and some washers, and I made this tool.
Okay, moment of truth.
And you can see I got myself some wooden planks and stacked them up on top of each other just to hold the pulley so the bearing can fall right out when I knock it through, and it'll work like a charm.
Wow.
And once you knock that bearing out of there, you're going to want to start cleaning off the pulley, getting all that dirt and grime off, and preparing yourself for the next step, which is the most interesting. I'm not going to bore you with all that cleaning stuff. We're just going to skip to the next part. Okay, so here's that interesting part I was talking about earlier. You can see me pulling a pulley out of the oven, and you want to put that pulley in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, and you want to have your new bearing in the freezer for about 4 hours to 8 hours. So before I stuck that pulley in the oven, I threw my bearing in the freezer for about 8 hours and let that cool. So now the pulley is expanded when I take it out the oven, and the bearing is contracted when I take it out the freezer, and it slips right into the pulley with ease. So before you run back outside to your car to put your pulley on, you want to make sure you let your pulley cool down and let all the temperatures adapt to each other from the bearing and the pulley.
That's it.
So now you want to get that snap ring back inside of the pulley, and make sure when you're doing that the snap ring is properly seated in the grooves of the pulley.
There it is.
Shit in there.
There it is. Shit. Much easier than taking it out. Thank you. There it is. Let's make sure it's seated in there properly.
Okay, so right here, before I put the pulley and the bearing back onto the supercharger, I went ahead and applied a light layer of grease to the bearing, to the inside of the bearing. Just a light layer, a little goes a long way. And that's just going to make the pulley slide it back on easier. And as you can see, me actually trying to get the pulley on the first time was kind of a struggle. And I found it easier by taking a rubber mallet and just lightly tapping the pulley back onto the supercharger shaft. But you want to do that very carefully.
As you can see, 2 holes.
So when you're putting the bolt back on, the washer has 2 holes on it. And on the shaft, you'll see 2 little prongs sticking out. And the washer just slides over that. You can't really get that wrong.
Oh, it's a magnet.
It's a magnet?
Yes, sir.
And you're also going to want to apply a little bit of Loctite to the bolt when reinstalling it. I didn't do that to mine because I plan on taking my pulley back off soon, so I didn't put any Loctite on there.
Now I get you how you said you was going how you was going to torque it.
And right here, I have to apologize to all you viewers. My camera actually died, but we're at the end of the tutorial and the job is pretty much done. All you have to do is torque down that bolt 40 feet-pounds or 60 Newton meters, and then place your supercharger belt back on. And the job is pretty much complete. I really hope this tutorial was able to help anybody that was having a hard time with this repair. And if you just watched this video because you like to work on cars or you found it interesting, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Like it, share it with your friends, tell everybody. I really appreciate all my viewers for coming back. All you new viewers, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. We got a lot more stuff coming. This has been another episode of Wrenching with the VA Gang. Stunt Lap.